Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to explore something you probably think you know really well, something as common as common salt. But what if this, seemingly simple stuff holds surprising and pretty profound influences that go way beyond just seasoning your food?
Oh, it absolutely does. We're doing a deep dive today into Natrium muriaticum, which is derived, well, directly from common salt. And what's truly remarkable about it, and what we'll really unpack, is its profound influence on fundamental nutrition and cellular activity. It's
Hmm.
almost like it retunes the body at its most basic level, leading to really significant shifts in, well, in health.
Okay, fascinating. So let's try and unlock this sort of secret code hidden in the everyday. Our mission today is to really get the core essence of Natrium muriaticum, to paint a vivid picture of the specific person it really impacts, and to decipher that unique constellation of mental and physical symptoms and map out the distinct things that make those symptoms better or worse. This whole exploration, hopefully, will offer you a unique lens to understand the subtle yet powerful complexities hiding in even the most familiar things. So let's start by painting that picture. The individual who resonates deeply with Natrium muriaticum. What's their constitutional blueprint, so to speak?
Well, the sources describe them as particularly suited for people who are anemic, low iron, or just generally feeling weak, and also cachectic.
Cachectic.
Right.
That means they tend to lose weight, lose flesh, even if they're living well and eating properly.
Exactly. It points to a challenge at a really fundamental level, almost like their cells aren't quite grabbing all the goodness from their food.
Interesting. And how does that physical state connect with their emotional landscape?
Well, what's fascinating is how often it mirrors it. These are typically nervous, irritable, highly sensitive people. Think of children who get cross just from being spoken to, or cry really easily, maybe even fly into a passion over, well, small things, trifles. It speaks to an underlying emotional fragility that's easily disturbed.
And here's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? There's a very strong keynote, something that often defines this profile. A marked tendency to weep. Now, you might just think, okay, sensitive, they cry a lot. But here's the twist. Their troubles, their sadness, it's actually aggravated by consolation,
Right. When someone tries to comfort them, it somehow makes them feel worse.
which is so counterintuitive. What does that tell us about the nature of their pain? Yeah. Is it like self-preservation or...
It's a really profound insight, I think. This aversion to consolation often ties back to a history of unresolved stuff. Grief, fright, deep fixation, mortification, or maybe just long-held reserved displeasure. It's almost as if being consoled validates the pain in a way they just can't handle, pushing them deeper inside themselves, and maybe disrupting their, cellular balance in the process. And this internal state, it often has physical echoes. These individuals might seem a bit awkward, hasty, often dropping things. It's put down to a kind of nervous weakness, like a full body expression of that internal tension.
Okay, so from that inner world, that sensitivity and hidden distress, let's look at how these deeper influences show up physically. What are the key physical echoes?
Headaches seem to be a really big one.
Yes, very much so. They're often described as anemic headaches, particularly common in schoolgirls, apparently. And they have this distinct rhythm. They often occur from sunrise to sunset. Very specific.
Sunrise to sunset.
And there's a specific sensation, too, a left-sided clavus, which feels almost like a nail is being driven into the head.
Ouch.
Yeah. And during a fever, they might feel like, and this is quite a description, 1,000 little hammers knocking in your brain.
1,000 little hammers. That sounds incredibly intense. And you mentioned they can come with blindness or zigzag patterns?
That's right. Temporary blindness or that zigzag dazzling can accompany them. So what makes these specific headaches better or worse?
Well, they're distinctly aggravated by heat, could be sun, could be a stove, and also by mental exertion, things like talking, writing, reading.
Okay.
But they often find really noticeable relief in the open air and from cold bathing.
Ah, interesting. So a clear pattern, sensitive to warmth, mental strain, but better with cool air.
Precisely. It points to a unique sort of energetic signature, you could say.
And beyond the head, we often see Natrium muriaticum signature affecting the body's mucous membranes too, right?
Yes. Our sources talk about hay fever with a rather peculiar squirming sensation in the nostril,
Squirming.
and also lacrimation, persistent tearing whenever the patient coughs.
And the tongue. You mentioned something about that earlier.
Oh, right, the tongue. It's quite distinctive, often described as mapped.
Mapped, like a road map.
Sort of, yeah. It presents with red, insular patches, almost like a geographical map or even ringworm. It indicates a very specific disturbance, probably in the mucous membranes, maybe digestion too, reflecting those deeper cellular things.
Right, speaking of digestion, constipation is common and, again, quite particular.
Yes, the sources describe it with a sensation of anal contraction and stools that are dry, hard, difficult to pass. And here's that really specific detail: crumbling right at the verge of the anus.
Grumbling, wow.
And there might even be involuntary passage of gas or feces sometimes. Suggests a loss of muscle tone or maybe nervous control there.
And this lack of control can extend to urinary issues, too.
It can, yes, like involuntary urination when walking, coughing, or laughing. And another interesting subtle point, patients might have to wait quite a long time to urinate, especially if other people are around.
Ah, which connects back to that nervous sensitivity we talked about.
Exactly. It's like the internal tension is impacting even these basic bodily functions.
And the skin often tells a story, too, doesn't it? Another window into their constitution.
For sure. It tends to be oily and shiny, particularly the face.
But the really characteristic detail, is it the fever blisters?
Yes, exactly. Herpes labialis, particularly around the lips. That's a big keynote. You might also see dry, cracked skin around the nails, those painful hangnails. And there's a tendency towards eczema and urticaria, which is hives, especially after, say, violent exercise.
So across all these different symptoms, headache, skin, digestion, there's this recurring theme of sensitivity, often to heat and dryness, or specific irritations.
Yeah, it's like the cellular machinery struggles a bit with fluid balance and maintaining integrity. It's quite consistent.
So we've explored the typical Natrium muriaticum person, their physical signs. Let's get into the rhythms of aggravation and amelioration now, the modalities. These are the specific things that make symptoms shift, right? For better or for worse.
That's right. And what's consistent here is a very clear pattern. Symptoms are often worse around 10 or 11 a.m.
Like clockwork.
Almost, yeah, like an internal clock of aggravation. They're also notably worse at the seashore or from sea air.
Interesting, given it comes from salt.
It is interesting, isn't it? Also worse from heat sun or stove heat, and like we saw with the headaches, from mental effort, talking, writing, reading. And lying down can also make things worse, maybe suggests pooling of blood or increased pressure, something like that.
Okay, so those are the triggers. Conversely, what helps? Where do they find relief?
Well, patients often feel better in the open air.
Right, that fits with the heat aggravation.
And from cold bathing, too.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Interestingly, some find relief from going without regular meals.
Oh, why might that be?
Maybe suggests their digestive system is easily overwhelmed. It's a possibility. And some find comfort lying specifically on their right side.
Huh. These modalities, they really offer crucial clues, don't they, about the underlying state?
They really do. Clues to their energetic state and how their cells are responding.
It's such an interconnected web. Let's talk for a moment about the key relationships this substance has within, a broader system of understanding. It's fascinating how certain remedies seem to complement or even clash with each other.
Indeed. So Natrium muriaticum is considered the chronic of Ignatia.
What does that mean exactly, chronic of Ignatia?
Well, it means that while Ignatia might be used for, say, intense acute grief or sudden emotional shocks, Natrium muriaticum often addresses the longer-term issues, the more deeply rooted chronic constitutional problems that might stem from similar emotional roots. It's like Ignatia handles the immediate storm.
And Natrium muriaticum helps rebuild the landscape afterwards.
That's a great way to put it. It also complements apis well, meaning they can work effectively together sometimes. And it's often followed by sapia and thuja in a sort of sequence of care.
Okay, which raises an important question. Are there any substances that are not compatible, that clash?
Yes, actually. The sources note it's considered inimical with nux vomica and chamomilla.
Inimical, what does that mean in this context? And what's the practical takeaway for someone using this approach?
It basically means these specific remedies are thought to potentially interfere with or maybe even counteract the action of Natrium muriaticum. So the advice is generally not to use them right before or right after Natrium muriaticum, as they might stop it from working properly or hinder its effects.
Fascinating. It shows a real delicacy in how these things interact.
A delicate balancing act, yeah. And specific energetic compatibility, perhaps.
So if we try and distill the essence here, pull it all together, what's the core understanding of Natrium muriaticum?
Well, at its heart, it profoundly addresses constitutional weakness. And that chronic mental or emotional distress. We're talking especially about that unexpressed grief, maybe deep-seated resentment, And that really unique, almost paradoxical aversion to being consoled.
Yeah, that really stands out.
It points to a deep cellular memory almost of emotional trauma impacting their whole being.
And physically.
Yeah.
It's about that range of symptoms marked by dryness. The skin, the stools we talked about, that distinct periodicity, the timing.
And the strong aggravation from heat and mental strain.
Yes. What stands out to me is how consistently it seems to respond well to cold applications and open air. It's such a clear signature across mind and body.
Exactly. And it all reinforces that central theme. Its profound influence on nutrition and cellular activity. It suggests this subtle but pervasive imbalance in how the body processes fundamental elements and how that shows up everywhere, from deep emotional patterns to, skin conditions.
It really is a testament to how something as basic as everyday as salt can impact the very building blocks of the body and mind.
Absolutely.
What an incredible deep dive. It's quite surprising, really, how common salt, this seemingly simple substance we use every day, embodies such a complex and specific set of influences.
Right.
It really challenges our perception of what simple even means, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Makes you wonder about the hidden depths in, well, everything around us.
So maybe something for you, our listeners, to consider. How might our daily, seemingly insignificant elements like the salt on our table hold these profound, hidden influences on our well-being, on our emotional landscape? What other common substances, if we looked at them through a more profound lens, might reveal such unexpected depths and connections to our inner world? Definitely something to reflect on, that intricate interplay between our emotional states, our physical symptoms, and the environmental factors, just as we've explored today.